Okay? So tonight on your handout, we have an acrostic, and it spells the word action. And the first letter is accept. Accept. Accept Jesus Christ as your higher power. So we know that turning our lives over to Christ, that's a once-in-a-lifetime decision. But turning our wills over to Christ, that's a daily recommitment. And sometimes can be the hardest things to do. You know, because we've always got Satan over here in our ear trying to tell us, oh, you could do that tomorrow, right? But we have to be men and women of action. It's so important. The next letter on the handout is C, and that is for commit. Commit to start asking and seeking and following His will. So I'd venture to say that some of us here tonight have tried to run our lives on our own power and just found it to be less than successful. But step 3, we change our definition of willpower. Willpower becomes the willingness to accept God's power to guide our lives. We come to see that there's no room for God if we're full of ourselves, you know. There's no room for God in our lives if we are just so full of ourselves. We need to pray this prayer right here. We need to pray, teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on level ground. The next letter on the handout is T, and that is turn it over. Let go and let God. When we say let go or let God, it doesn't say just let go of some of the things to God. You know, it doesn't say just turn over the big things to God or turn over the little things to God. In Proverbs 3:6 it says, in everything you do, put God first, and He will direct you and crown your efforts with success. See, it's in everything you do, and I think that's where we all kind of choke on that word, everything, all. You know, it's just not the big things, it's not the little things, it's everything. You know? See, Christ doesn't want a relationship with part of you. He desires a relationship with all of you. Okay? So tonight I have a question for you. What burden did you walk in here tonight with? I think we've all carried some sort of burden as we walk through this door tonight. And what is that? And are you willing to turn that over to Jesus? In Matthew 11:28-30, it says, come to me and I will give you rest. All of you who work so hard beneath a heavy yoke, wear my yoke. It fits perfectly. And let me teach you, for I am gentle and humble, and you shall find rest for your souls. For I give you only light burdens. The next letter on the handout is I. It's only the beginning. See, in step 3, we make a decision to accept Jesus as our personal Savior. When we can make the commitment to seek God and follow His will. So we get a new life, and that begins with this decision that we're going to make. And it's followed with a lifelong process of growing closer to Christ every day. In Philippians 1:6 it says, God who began a great work within you will keep you right on growing, help you grow in His grace until the task within you is finally finished. See, through my journey, through my own walk of being a Christian, this verse has different meanings to me as I grow. Like when I read it tonight, it has a different meaning than it did a year ago or 5 years ago for me.
That's right.
You know, it's only the beginning. It's all about our own personal growth. And I think I heard something on the way here tonight was, you know, we all have different paths of growth. We all have different paths of healing. None of us are the same. We all have different, you know, it's not cookie cutter stuff. We're all different. We're all different. Step 3 is not where this recovery program stops, but it is the foundation for the next 9 steps that we do. Okay? The next letter on the handout is O, and that is for one day at a time. One day at a time. See, our recoveries happen one day at a time, and if we remain stuck in yesterday or constantly worrying about tomorrow, we will waste precious time in the present. It's only in the present that we can change, and that's where growth can occur. Okay? We can't change yesterday. We can only pray for tomorrow. And Jesus gave us some instructions around this. He says, don't be anxious about tomorrow. God will take care of your tomorrow. Live one day at a time. See, believe me, if I could go back in time and change my past, I mean, I think about that and think, what would I do? I mean, it's an endless list. I don't even know where to start it. I know that I would spare the pain that I caused my family and my friends for my addiction. I know I would start there. But I can't. I can't go back in time and change anything. Not even one thing on that list. I can't even do it. And neither can you. You know, and on the other side of the coin, we can't live somewhere way off in the future. You know, and I catch myself doing this too, you know, worrying about it, you know, what if this or if that happened, am I gonna have money in the future? Am I gonna end up being lonely? You know, and we can't be that way. You know, we have to leave that up to God. This program is about one day at a time. And Jesus is about one day at a time. And I can and do live in today. And I can, with Jesus' guidance and direction, make a difference in the way I live today. And so can you. You can make a difference. The last letter on the handout is N, and that is for next step. And also on the handout it says, how do I ask Christ into my life? And if you're here tonight for the first time, or this is a question you would like answered, we have Carrie and Lori. Actually, everybody wave to Carrie and Lori back there. That's nice. I like to embarrass those guys a lot. They would be glad to talk to you right now. So if that is a question you have, I just encourage you to be a man and woman of action right now and just stand up and go out and have a conversation with them. But I want to change the acrostic tonight. I want to change it. I want to change the letter N. I want to change the letter N to Nick. Nick Vujicic. Go ahead and write his name down, if you would, please. Nick Vujicic is a 30-year-old man who was born in Australia, and he was born with no arms and no legs.
Oh, yes.
And to hear his testimony, it is the most inspirational thing that I have heard ever. And that is your homework for this week, is to look him up on the internet. Here's a quote that he gave. Oops. It says, keep moving ahead because action creates momentum, which in turn creates unanticipated opportunities. So that's what action can create in our lives. If we're men and women of action, we can create unanticipated opportunities in our life. Okay? We're men and women of action. Tonight's focus question in our small group is, what action do I need to take in your own recovery and why?